This is a strong, independent tree that don't need no man. Hey, I'm Alex Lamb, and in this episode of Stories of the World, we're going to be talking about the tree that owns itself. But before we even start, first, I want to thank this tree, man, because this is what this channel is about. Some crazy, unbelievable stories. So let's get to it. Now, the tree that owns itself was born between mid-16th century to 18th century in Athens, Georgia, United States. It had a lonely few hundred years as the area wasn't developed, though somehow gained fame as the biggest tree in Athens and the most famous tree in the United States. Then in the 1900s, development began and people started moving in. Now, I'm not too sure if there were prior owners to the Jackson family, but this is sort of where the story begins. William Henry Jackson, the owner of the property at which the tree resides, cherished childhood memories of the tree and, wanting to protect it, gifted it the deed to the ownership of itself. According to the newspaper article, the deed reads, I, W.H. Jackson of the County of Clark, of the one part, and the oak tree of the County of Clark, of the other part, witness this, that said W.H. Jackson, and in consideration of the great affection which he bears the tree, and his great desire to see it protected, and by these presents do convey it unto said oak tree, entire possession of itself, and to all land within 8 feet on all of its sides. Now, citizens who heard this began to gift all their objects possession of itself. Okay, that's not true, but it would be funny if people started doing that. So let me know in the comments below. If you guys could gift one thing its possession of itself, what would it be? And this sort of got me thinking, right? Like, if this tree can own stuff, couldn't we technically buy it things like a house or more land and, you know, maybe start give him like a stock portfolio or something? Anyway, just my stupid thought. In 1906, George Foster Peabody paid to have new soil, a commemorative stone tablet, and a chain barricaded supported by 8 granite posts installed around the tree. Sadly, the next year in 1907, the tree suffered major damage during an ice storm. Rot began to set in, and eventually the tree fell on the evening of October 1942. The tree was recorded to have stood over 30 meters and was estimated to be between 150 to 400 years old. They could have counted the rings, but they didn't. There was no reason that they didn't. Maybe they just forgot. Now, after the tree died, the small plot of land stayed vacant for 4 years until a young man named Dan McGill suggested to his mother, who was part of the Athens Junior Ladies Garden Club, to find a replacement. And to their amazement, they discovered that a few locals were cultivating seedlings from the acorn of the original tree. The one chosen was the one growing out of Captain Jack Watson's yard. At 5 feet, it was considered the most suitable, and the operation began to replant the tree. On December 4th, 1946, a formal ceremony was held. Athens's mayor, Robert L. McWhorter, presided, and Dr. E.L. Apasta offered a short prayer. Club president Patsy Dudley announced that her group will take responsibility for the tree's plot and the new tree. The tree is considered an heir to the tree that owns itself and is commonly referred to as the son of the tree that owns itself. This story is just super heartwarming, but get ready because your heart is about to get a little more warmer. On December 4th, 1996, they held the 50th anniversary for the son of the tree that owns itself, and Dan McGill, the boy who inspired the replanting effort, served as master of ceremonies. Now, the awesome thing is that the tree still exists today. Now, personally, I love this story, especially, you know, with Dan McGill inspiring the replanting efforts and whatnot. You know, I'd love to go visit the tree and possibly interview Dan, if he's still alive, that is. That's the story of the tree that owns itself. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hear more stories. I'm Alex Lamb, and this is Stories of the World.